Hello, and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. Today we will look at a beer from Nagoya, which is in the central part of Japan. And the brewery is called Kinshachi, and actually it's more formally Morita Kinshachi. So, as you maybe you can see on the I guess it's reversed here, I'm not sure, but Morita Kinshachi in Aichi, Nagoya, Japan. And Kinshachi has been around for a while. They actually, their parent company called Morita Corporation in 1884 decided to create a beer called Three Stars, and apparently they claim that they are the first brewer in the Chubu region, which is the central region of Japan around Nagoya, that they were the first brewer in that area. Well, the Three Stars failed, and they came back in 1996 as Morita Kinshachi and began making beer. They're most famous for a kind of unusual beer, aka miso lager, which is aka is red and miso is miso bean paste, which is used to make miso soup, and they put red miso, which is kind of the specialty of the Nagoya area. If you have dinner or have a meal in Nagoya in a restaurant, a Japanese meal, the miso soup that comes with it will likely be red miso, which is kind of a very full-featured sort of miso, very full-bodied and flavorful, certainly, and very rich. And so they made akamiso lager, and I've had that before. I don't recommend it. I recommend it as an experience, but not as a beer necessarily. But in any case, they've been around for a while, and they have made a number of beers. And I have a playlist of their beers on my channel, so you can check that out as well. So we're going to look at a few beers from them, two beers in fact, in this series. And if you go online, you can see their website. They have a lot of blah 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 about the delicate Japanese palate and beer that fits it and that sort of thing, which is kind of a popular topic among some brewers in Japan, how the beer they make fits Japanese food. And then there is something to that, of course. Certainly some light, crisp beer does go well with Japanese food, but it can kind of get into a sort of nationalistic bent if you go too far with it, I think. So, okay, well, that's enough of my blah blah blah, and let's move on to the beer now. Okay, and this beer from Kinshachi Morita, Kinshachi Brewery, is called Kinshachi Alt, and it is an alt beer style, which is of course a German style, and it's an ale which is brewed with top fermenting yeast, and it's very, very popular in Germany, especially in northern Germany and around the city of Dusseldorf. You can find a lot of bars that will have an alt beer in them. In Japan, many brewers, when they first started, were influenced by German brewing, and so we have a lot of German styles that craft brewers maybe 20 years ago or even earlier began making an alt, a Pilsner, something like that, maybe a Weizen. And so, but these days, not many do make it anymore. Kinshachi does, and I think they've continually made it. So, so it is known as Kinshachi Red Label on Rate Beer, and simply as Red Label on Untapped. And on Rate Beer, it has 21 ratings, an average of 2.97, not very high. 35 percentile for all beers on Rate Beer, and 41 percentile for its style, which is alt or alt beer. And on Untapped, it comes in at, it's called, Red Label. It comes in with 337 ratings, and the average is 3.31, so several ticks higher. I have rated this before, but it's been about 8 years, and so I will tell you about that after we get into the beer. And so this is made with foreign malt. They don't specify the country. I would assume it's Germany, but I don't know. And hops, and that's all. It is 5% alcohol. I don't know the international bittering units. Let's get into this one, okay? Boing. And Alt beer. Okay. Oh, I can smell it already. Okay, so it is a kind of medium dark reddish brown with just a few thin streams of carbonation rising up. You probably can't see it, but it's got a solid fat finger of off-white head. Okay, so I smelled this right away. It's got a rather yeasty, very malty aroma. With the roastiness, we're getting maybe something like raisins, maybe a tinge of prune, but something lighter like raisin perhaps. Okay, caramel, yeah, some light, something dark fruitiness, maybe light prune, maybe plum, something like that. Very nice, sweet fruitiness, doesn't go over the top with it. Gentle hopping, bittering is decent, but it doesn't really overwhelm, which it shouldn't actually. Yeah, this is okay. I think they've really figured out how to make this one well. An alt beer is certainly in northern Germany. It's kind of very sessionable. Michael Jackson refers to them as sociable beers, beers that you'll have with your friend, 2 or 3 as you have a conversation. And so, it is pleasant. It doesn't, this will not take precedence over any good conversation you're having with somebody. It will simply be a nice refresher as you are talking. Or eating. Yeah, very nice. No, not bad. Okay, I gave this a 3.2 out of 5, and that was 6-7 years ago. I might go just a tick higher now. I don't know, 3.4 perhaps out of 5. Yeah, this is a reasonable beer and not a bad approximation of the style, I think. Yeah, it's not going to knock you over, but it shouldn't. So once again, this is called Kinshachi Alt beer, or Red Label if you're looking at the websites, the rating sites, and you can give that a go. Okay, and give it a try if you happen to see it. Okay, well, we're done with Kinshachi for now, and do check out the playlist of Kinshachi beers I have, and subscribe to the channel. I'd like to hear from you if you want to leave a comment too as well. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.